What is going on, everybody in YouTube? Max Rock here with a brand new video here. Today we're going to be doing the full review for the Galaxy A21. Should you skip it? Should you pick it up? Stay tuned. First thing you notice about it is the quad camera setup on the rear. Yes, it's quad cameras, 4 cameras on the rear, 16 megapixel primary lens, 8 megapixel ultra wide. You also get a 2 megapixel macro and a 2 megapixel depth sensor. So you do get 3 gigs of RAM with this device, a Helio P35 processor, which is kind of a disappointment because I had experiences with Helio P35 processors and other devices and they just aren't the best. It is an octa-core and I can see the difference in performance comparing it to a Snapdragon. A 4,000 mAh battery inside of this device. You also get a 6.5-inch HD Plus display. It's not emulated by any stretch of the imagination. It is LCD. So if you're used to AMOLED panels from Samsung, you're not going to want to deal with this phone here because the quality difference is significant. And if I didn't mention before, you get a 13 megapixel selfie camera. So at least the selfie camera is pretty decent. You take some decent selfies with your friends and family. This depends on the kind of person you are. And out of the box, this device is running Android 10 with One UI 2.0 on it. Definitely not 3.0 because you will be able to tell a difference here. Performance on this phone is just, it's mediocre at best because it is the Helio P35 processor inside. So paired with that is going to be the PowerVR Rogue G8320. I feel like a lot of phones share that same GPU and it's just not that good. It's just not that good. Going back to the cameras here, you get a max resolution of 1080p 30 frames per second. That's on both the wide or the standard wide and the ultra wide camera. So nothing beyond that. But like I say in all my other videos here, as far as budget phones, you have to have the same expectations with the amount of money you spend for a phone. It's very rare you can spend MSRP on a phone and get features that exceed, how much you paid for it. Now, despite all the negative things I did say about the device, you do get a loudspeaker on the bottom. You also get a USB Type-C for charging, and you get a headphone jack, which is definitely a plus. You also have a noise canceling mic on the top of the device here. Power button is on the right side. A negative thing right there for me as well. On the other side of the device, you do get your SIM tray slot to put your micro SD card in case you want to expand the storage. And let's say you unlock this device, you can put a different SIM card in there. So you do have choices. So right next to these quad cameras in the back here, you get a fingerprint scanner that doesn't provide you any haptic feedback. Like, you know how you usually unlock a phone that has a fingerprint scanner on the rear and you feel it vibrate a little bit? This phone gives you none of that. So if you're used to things like that, don't expect it with this device here. Like I mentioned earlier, performance with the Helio P35 in it, it's just not the best. And it doesn't help that it has 3 gigs of RAM. So I'm bouncing in and out of applications all day. So I need a little bit more RAM in the device. So this is definitely something that I cannot use as a daily driver. And earlier I did mention that the display quality is just not the best. And I'm gonna add on a little bit more to that because yeah, you can watch a 720p video and be pretty satisfied with it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you can't pull up some NBA highlights and be like, okay, this looks pretty good. This phone is at full brightness. It seems as though it's a little dim. And that's surprising coming from Samsung because from my experience, they make some of the brightest screens in the game. For example, the Galaxy A21 5G that I'm recording this video with right now, that phone has a super AMOLED panel. And we all know AMOLED panels pop like crazy. Like even the new iPhones have OLED screens. So people with newer iPhones would know what I'm talking about, how bright their screen actually gets. For sure, this phone would not be getting the Android 11 update, so I just want to go ahead and nip that in the butt right now. Don't expect to update to Android 11 with this device here. Usually with budget phones and how they do it primarily at the time, LG, when they were making phones, LG did it, even Motorola does it sometime. They will not push out a software update for a budget phone. They just won't. Now, one of the things that you may like a ton about this device here is the battery life or raw battery performance. You should be able to get, at least a day out of this phone, no issues, waking up 7 a.m. in the morning. Keeping the phone at about medium brightness. You can't crank it up too high because then that's when you start to see that percentage just go Keep in mind you got quick charge, so if you need some quick juice, you know, you can get yourself about 20% in maybe about 20 minutes or so. But it just all depends on you as a user. Like me, the Pixel 5 right now is my everyday phone, so you know, it's nothing to charge that phone up really quickly. And also the battery life in the Pixel 5, it has the same size battery as this phone, but a much smaller display, and it's at 90 hertz. So you would think that it dies a little bit quicker, but it actually doesn't. Can I recommend this phone? Absolutely. It just depends on you as a user. If you're a power user, stay away from the Galaxy A21. If you just want a big phone in your hand that has 4 cameras, you just want the look factor, then yeah, go ahead and get the Galaxy A21. But overall performance, the money ratio is about on par with what it should be. So in that case, I can't recommend it to the person out there looking to get a phone that's gonna do the basic things for them. So in the comment section below, Mac Squad, if you have the Galaxy A21, how do you feel about it? Have you considered getting it? You know, does any of your friends have it? You know, is it one of those phones that was on your radar? Let me know in the comment section. But until then, share this video with your friends and family and let them know that not all Android cameras suck. It is just not true. Until then, my name is Max Rock. Thank you for watching this video. Have a good day, y'all. Deuces.